Hello! Today, World Socionics Society interviews Carrina Murphy. Hey Carrina, how you doing today?
Good.
Excellent. Are you ready for the first question?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Question 1. How did you get into typology?
Basically, just through an interest of somebody else who asked me to do an Mbti type, and I kind of just liked it and kept studying it for a long time.
I see, so you started with MBTI. What was your MBTI type?
Honestly, I don't actually know. It was INFJ, but everybody thinks they are, and I think everybody gets either INTJ or INFJ for a long time, and that's my experience anyways, but yeah, INFJ for about a year, and then INTJ for another few months, and then I moved from MBTI to Socionics.
Okay. How did you first get into Socionics?
What is it?
How did you first get into Socionics?
I think people that I met through MBTI were just talking about it, and I started. Oh, you know what? I think it actually was the intertype relations chart that got me into Socionics.
I see. So you were interested in finding out like a theory that could help you with relationships.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the practical use. I just kind of found it really interesting and found myself thinking about it a lot. Just like when I was just having casual conversations with people and stuff like that. So really, it was just a hobby.
I see. And are you interested in psychology in general?
Mhm. Yeah, right now I'm a social worker, sort of. Well, I'm not really a social worker. I work with teenage girls, kind of like a surrogate mother for misplaced girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see. So what does that job involve?
It's you kind of just like pretend to be a mother for about 10 hours a day, and I don't know. You just keep them on schedule, and you work with psychological issues. Try to have empathy, stuff like that. And then in general, it's just normal life. You just kind of live there.
I see. So did you have to get a qualification for that job?
No, but the psychology classes that I've taken have helped me a little bit. But no. Well,
So
there's on-job training, so the longer you work there, the more training that you get. And I just finished a CPI training class. I think it was yesterday. I don't know, but it's non-violent physical restraint techniques and stuff like that is what we learned that yesterday. So on-the-job training.
I see. So how does one get into becoming a surrogate mother?
Becoming a what?
How did you get into doing it, and what made you want to do it?
I didn't go looking for it. It just kind of happened. Somebody just said that they needed people to work, and I did. I signed up.
I see. What do you like about being a surrogate mother?
Well, technically, what I'm called is a child care worker, but what I like about it is developing close bonds with people. People relying on me. It's kind of intense sometimes. I kind of like that. I like that it's not the same every single day because I get really bored in jobs that are the same every day. And I like that there's a little bit of a challenge to do your job daily. To do it correctly, you really have to apply yourself. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't try as hard.
Oh, so you say that you like a job that is challenging, that
Yeah.
requires.
I don't like boring things. Things that are boring, I'll just kind of fall asleep, or I don't know. I don't do a very good job.
What's an example of something that's boring to you?
Well, if I go to a job every day and as soon as I get there, I'm doing the same thing I did yesterday, or I guess sameness is what I consider boring.
Hmm. So you need things to be spiced up.
Yeah, yeah, I like things to be different. I like originality. When things get predictable, I, I don't know. It doesn't. I'm not interested in things that are predictable.
Hmm. For things that are unpredictable.
Yeah, if something's unpredictable, as long as it's not like dangerous or yeah, unpredictability is interesting, or at least it engages me.
I see. Is there anything that you'd like to do instead?
I don't know. I mean, I do like my job. If I leave, it'll be because the hours kind of suck.
Hmm.
Um, I like a lot of different things. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like, yeah, there's plenty of things that I would like to do, but I don't feel the need to specifically do any of them.
What are those things that you might like to do but you don't need to do?
I would probably like interior decorating, one-on-one counseling. I know I would like that. Um, art. I like art. Painting. Probably web design. I'd probably like that.
Hmm. So for web design, would you be interested in the coding for web design and creating websites?
No.
Hmm. So
No.
it's purely just like making it look the right way.
Yeah, that's what I would like.
Okay. What do
No,
you do? Hmm?
I'm sorry. What?
What were you saying?
I'm not good with lots of numbers. Like I like the theory. I like theories of like mathematics and coding, but I'm not good at it at
Okay.
all.
What would you say that you're good at?
What am I good at? Drawing. Um, I'm good at a lot of things. Anything that is challenging or that I can apply myself to, I'm good at. I'm good at physical things like martial arts, stuff like that. I don't know.
Something that requires a certain amount of physical action.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do that you feel is an important part of who you are?
I'm gonna turn my speakers up real quick. What do I do that feels an important part of who I am? Well, I'm a mother. That's an important part of who I am. Uh, like in my work.
Hmm. It can be work. It can be anything that you feel is important.
Okay. Well, one example is if I make artwork, that I feel that is important to who I am because I'm channeling my emotions into it, and um, also I guess at work when I'm doing like one-on-one with the girls, that's important to who I am.
I see. So your one-on-one connection with the girls is important to you, and also something that allows you to express yourself in art.
Yeah, emotional expression and one-on-ones. Yes, I like deep connections with people.
Hmm. How would you describe a deep connection?
Um, say if I understand where somebody's coming from and I'm able to help them grow, or we've been through the same thing, we're able to talk about it and discuss ways to be more productive or like apply ourselves and like overcome those things.
Okay. Thank you. What are your hobbies and interests?
Interested in psychology. Interested in martial arts, like Krav Maga, ballet. Huh? Do you like Krav Maga?
Yeah, I did some Krav Maga. It was fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. I like studying martial arts where the types of martial arts where you're not actually trying to like be the offender. You're, yeah, you know what I mean, like kind of
so
like non-violent.
you like the more non-violent martial arts?
It's more about a sport, I guess. More about the sports. Yeah.
It's more about the competition.
Yeah, but I'm not really competitive. If I'm being competitive, it's kind of all in good fun. But I don't like trying to beat people. I'd much rather be like learning together. I like teamwork.
Okay. So how would teamwork fit in with martial arts?
Anytime you're sparring with one person and you are taking their instructions and they're taking your instructions and you understand what each other are doing. I don't know.
So it's like that sort of interplay that you have with someone while you're sparring.
Yes.
Okay. So it's about almost during the spar, it's almost a relationship you're having, and at the same time, it's like a mutual learning experience.
Yeah.
What is it about martial arts rather than any other sport that gives you this?
I don't know. I think there are lots of different sports that I would consider as cool as martial arts, like dance, weightlifting. I like weightlifting. I can't think of anything right now. I mean, I like playing baseball and other things. I've never been good at the traditional sports. And I kind of think it's boring.
What are the traditional sports?
Why are they boring? Oh, what are they?
Yeah.
Baseball, basketball, football,
Okay.
and soccer.
So you like the more alternative ones?
Yeah, I like soccer though a lot, but yeah, the mainstream. I don't like anything mainstream. I don't know.
You don't know why it's mainstream. You just find it boring because it's so overdone.
Yeah, something like that. It's part of me is just like, well, with baseball, it's like there's too many innings. It takes too long. Honestly, basketball is the same way. There's not enough shake-up going on. Like after the first quarter, I stop being involved, and I'm like, I start getting really bored, and I'm not even paying attention to what the players are doing anymore.
Like there's not just simply not enough stimulation to that sort of game.
Yeah.
You need something with stimulation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I didn't realize that, but yeah, you're right on.
Okay. Are there any pronounced qualities to you as a person that make you stand out?
I don't really like this question. I don't know. I would like to say that I'm different because I can be really, really intense and also be really nice and not be like a bitch about it. I don't know if I even said that the right way, but
I think I got a good picture from that. I think.
yes.
So was you make intensity a nice thing, something that people won't object to.
Yeah, that's not really what I was saying, but yeah, I mean that could definitely would be under that umbrella of what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's just a weird question for me.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. How do you approach responsibility?
I take responsibility really seriously. Uh, the only times I'm not very responsible is if I don't feel good. Like, if like my immediate needs are not being met, then I can become less responsible. But or if I'm really bored, that happens sometimes too. But I think my responsibilities are the one thing that I have in mind when I wake up every day.
So, what sort of needs do you have that need to be fulfilled so that you keep responsibilities on your mind?
Enough sleep. Sometimes I don't know what the cause is, but sometimes I just get really like emotionally frustrated, and I have to find a way to calm my inner self down, or I just can't focus. I can't think about what I need to do. I just can't. I just get really stressed. It's not even stress. It's just like this ball of energy inside of me that's gonna blow up.
Like this sort of hyperactivity.
What is it?
This sort of hyperactivity.
Could be something like that.
Okay. And what sorts of responsibilities are on your mind from the time you wake up?
Routine things like laundry, food, work, children, and then like my relationships with people. Like say the people that I work with, or my boss, or my coworkers, or friends, my kids. But it's more on an individual level that I'm thinking about it, and not necessarily a blanket thing. Not like a blanket responsibility.
What do you mean by a blanket responsibility?
Like how I said, routine things, people, chores. Like chores are kind of like a blanket responsibility, and then the people in my life are individual responsibilities. Like I may not be thinking about this person right now, but I'm thinking about this other person and my role with them and stuff like that.
I see. And would you say that you enjoy having responsibilities? That it's good that you have these responsibilities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like having responsibilities.
So would you willingly take on more, did you say?
I take on more responsibilities all the time. But very recently I've started doing less for other people and more for myself. This is like a new thing. I mean, I'm 26 years old, and it's only been about the last 6 months that I've really been thinking like this. I would be less likely to take on more responsibility these days than I used to be. Like, I used to just would do anything anybody ever asked from me, but now I think about it more, and I say no a lot of times.
I see. So there's almost this. Did you? What caused you to say yes in previous occasions?
The feeling that I'm doing something for somebody.
So it's like because that a particular person has asked, someone who's close to you, you say that that because they've asked that you have to say yes.
Yeah, and I would want to. I wouldn't say yes unless I wanted to say yes.
So what's caused you to start saying no?
Just the realization that when you give to other people, you're kind of taking from yourself, and it kind of dawned on me that people will kind of just take advantage of you and they won't really help other people or you. They'll just kind of take from everybody around them. And it just kind of caused like a problem for me, having enough resources, taking care of myself, and being able to plan for the future and stuff like that.
So a lot of people say, go on.
Oh, there's one more thing, and that is that I've become kind of like disgruntled at people for asking so much of me, and like on an individual basis, there have been like 2 or 3 people maybe that have taken me completely for granted, and now like before I was naive, and now I realize that like people don't really care about you; they just kind of want what they want.
I see. So you say that a lot of people have let you down then?
Yeah, and it's about mutual responsibility in friendships and relationships. And I'm in a learning phase of who is mutually responsible, who. It's hard for me to conceptualize because it's kind of a new thing for me. What was the question?
Yes. So what was it? Yes. So saying that a lot of people have let you down.
Yeah, and I think the area they let me down is that I've realized people aren't responsible.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. I guess they're not responsible for themselves, and they ask other people to be responsible for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really helping anybody.
Mm. So, what do you tend to expect of others?
I expect a lot from other people. I expect people to be respectful. I expect people to be nice to me. I expect people to use polite words when they're talking to me. I expect people not to be aggressive toward me. And I expect... I don't know. I expect people to be responsible for themselves and their actions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, you expect this idea of just being nice, being courteous to you, being respectful to you, and being basically responsible. That's.
I guess. I mean, I could probably go on for a half hour of what I expect from people.
Oh, really? So you have a lot of expectations of people.
I really do, yeah.
Are these expectations usually lived up to?
I would say that, yeah, you can only expect so much from people, but, like, yeah, I mean, most of the time, sure. And then if not, then I just take it in stride, and I realize everybody's in a process of learning, so.
Okay, so you're quite understanding if someone doesn't live up to your expectations.
Yeah, I understand people aren't always gonna. I didn't used to always understand that. I've just started realizing that it's not like people don't have a responsibility to do everything I want them to do.
Okay, so what did you used to do before you realized this?
I don't know. Like specific relationships or like just people in general.
People in general, then we can go into specific relationships if you're comfortable.
In general, I can't think. I don't know if I was always conscious of what I expected of people because I'm having a hard time remembering things. So specific relationships, I was dating an SLE for about maybe 2 or 3 years, and I had so many expectations. It was ridiculous. Like, it was bad. We lived together for a while, and I kind of, like, turned complete dictator and, like, mommy rolled him bad. It was horrible.
What did you do to him?
I fucking made rules about everything, like, no, you may not drink in this house, like, get up before noon. It was such a lazy slob partying, like, it was bad. There was, like, all kinds of people who just come over my house all the time drunk, and I'm just like, you can't, none of these, I don't trust any of these people, nobody's coming over our house anymore, you're just gonna have to get over it.
I see. And what did these expectations come from? Like, because you heaped so many of him. Was this from? Did you actually have like carefully considered principles about this? Like you just wanted this general rule, but you didn't want these people in your house, and you kept that rule, or was it more like almost on the spur of the moment? You just decided you didn't want that.
I didn't want it from the beginning, or if I did, I didn't know it. Or yeah, and It was partly the principle of it, and it's kind of like interfering with what kind of lifestyle I wanted. And also because it made me really uncomfortable. I don't like, my general attitude is that I don't like to be around a lot of people that I don't know, and I especially don't like to be around a lot of people that I don't like. Or I'm sorry, I meant to say that I don't trust. And if I have a hard time trusting people that are under the influence of drugs and alcohol. I just don't trust them.
I see. What is it about being under the influence that you find untrustworthy?
It goes back to situations I've dealt with when I was younger. Their attitude changes and they have less control over themselves, and to be fair, I was kind of taking it overboard.
You were taking the rules you're making overboard.
Yeah, like just saying like no alcohol ever. That's taking it overboard. Like the boyfriend right before that, I would take his beer and go pour it out in the sink and say, "You can kiss my ass. Like you're gonna follow this rule whether you like it or not, or you can get the fuck out of my house."
It's a very good laying down exactly what you want to someone.
Yeah, but
and they better go along with it.
No, they don't go along with it. That's why I had so many fights with them. That's why I'm single. I've had so many bad experiences dating the wrong people, and I'm just like, I don't want to date no more. It's over. I'm done.
Okay. Okay. So relations that you do have. So can you describe for me the relations with your family and your friends?
Describe them. It's not always the same. My mood really kind of sets the stage for how the relationships are played out on a day-to-day basis. I try to be caring and understanding, pretty much. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. Okay, the general theme in my relationships is building trust and mutual support. Yeah.
Okay. So, how many, you say you're a mother, how many children do you have?
2.
2.
Yes.
Boys, girls?
I have 2 boys, one is 2 years old and one is 6 years old.
Oh. Okay. Do you see any rest of your family?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, my sister. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. I have a twin sister and an older sister. Well, yeah, we're really close. We try to see each other as much as possible. We rely on each other quite a bit and stuff.
I see. So whereabouts do you fit in among your sisters and your brother?
Where do I fit in?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, what's the sort of dynamic with you and your siblings?
That's a tough question to answer, but well, with my twin sister, I don't know. I mean, we see each other every day, and she's, I don't know, she kind of crowds me, and I try to get away. But like with my brother James and me had a conflict not too long ago. My 2 older brothers, we talk almost every day. The relationship dynamics are like, hey, I need you to babysit my kid, and I'm like, okay, and we just say, hi, what's up, hey, I love you, man, okay, cool, I'll see you next week, or whatever, I don't know. But I had I'm sorry, I'm being so random. I had a conflict with my little brother not too long ago because I was posting a lot of politics on Facebook, and I had really strong opinions, and he unfriended me on Facebook, and I sent him this message you stupid asshole, and whatever. I just cussed him out. And I guess we're still friends or whatever, because he called me on the phone not too long ago, but I don't know. I lost respect for him.
Hmm. Wait, so you lost respect for him because he unfriended you over your political views?
Yeah. And he's in the Marines. I was like, you're supposed to care about politics. Like, it doesn't matter if you disagree or you agree, but I'm your sister. You just unfriended me on Facebook for a really petty like, pettiness, people are being petty. That actually ticks me off. Like, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Hmm. Like, always about pettiness, but it's just so small-minded.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a little teeny issue that I shouldn't have to deal with.
Hmm. I see.
The fact that I'm forced to deal with it is what pisses me off.
I see. You don't like being forced to deal with the little things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hmm. Do you have many friends?
Um, I kind of feel like I'm friends with everybody, unless they make it clear that they don't want to be my friend. I probably only have 5 or 10 really. I probably only have 5 people that I would talk to about myself, like things that. I mean, I have things that I would say to anybody, but then I have things that I only want to talk to with people that I actually trust a lot, and I only have a handful of people that I trust. So, but like,
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So you said you have like a smaller circle of trust, but you have a
Yeah.
wider circle of friends.
Mhm. I probably have quite a bit of acquaintances, and then I probably have. Well, I'm not going to include family because I have like 150 family members, including cousins and aunts and uncles. But just friends, I probably have maybe like 10, 20, 30 friends, people that I can just say hi to or whatever, and then just chat with.
So why are these people your friends?
For no reason, just because they're alive.
Okay, so in other words, for those people, you don't really need to consider much of them. They're just your friends. You got an open door for those people.
Yeah.
Okay. And what makes the people the special 5 in your life, the people you can really trust? Why can you really trust them?
Because they've demonstrated that they're not going to make me feel uncomfortable about things that I can talk to them about, or because we've developed our relationship to that point, to where, well, throughout the development of a relationship, they haven't done anything that made me like resent them or feel like they don't treat me right. That would probably be a better way of putting that.
I see. So they develop almost like you can almost tell them anything, and they won't treat you badly for it. They've got you can rely on them to respond in the way that you need them to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so you've already explained quite a bit of how you are with romantic relationships. So I would say, are you if you were to have another romantic relationship, based on what you've learned in the past, how would you approach that romantic relationship?
Like from start to finish, or start to finish. Assuming it would finish, that's funny. um, okay, how would I approach that? I would develop trust with that person before I even considered a relationship. And then once the trust was established, I would just try and take care of them, and give them what they needed, and try to get what I needed from them. It would be like a companionship thing, like where you could talk to somebody about something. It would be more of like a friendship, a close friendship.
So you'd say you're going to play it a lot more casual than in the previous relationships when you laid down the rules.
Yeah, there would still be rules, but I would just make sure that person agreed with the rules before the relationship started.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't agree with those rules, then that's not the person for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what sort of role do you tend to play with those you care about?
Friend, caregiver. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So you seem to be definitely the one who's there for other people and looks out for other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you said a lot more in about your job, how you like to learn practical things. But how do you like to learn? How do you go about learning?
How do I feel about how do I like to learn?
Yes.
Well, I don't like reading online PDF to learn. That I do not like. I like to learn hands-on, I think. And I don't know. I think I just ask a lot of people and determine things myself.
Oh, so you say, okay, you like the hands-on. You say that also kind of fits in. You said with like, the martial arts sort of physical activity, and was that the like you must and also in your job like learning on the job. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, almost like you're learning while you're doing.
Yeah, I like to actually see it happen in real life, and I have to do things. Well, this is true about me. It's a downfall. I have to do things over and over and over and over again before I actually learn them. It actually takes a while for things to sink in.
Okay. So so it sinks in your head or more just muscle memory?
Depends on what type of learning. Physically, like learning things physically, yeah, it would be like muscle memory. Either way, regardless if it's mental or if it's physical, it still takes a lot of repetition. And like say if we're learning Model A, like I have to have an actual real life question and reference the answer multiple times in a lot of different ways for that to eventually make sense.
Ah, so you like longer explanations that go over it from different angles. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Or at least the idea that it's like it's explained. It's not you're not just given like a single point, as it were. You're given like something more. Something it says explained in lots of different ways. So.
Yeah. I can't learn. I can't just look at some information and read it, and that's not going to just go into my memory banks, and I'm not going to have that to reference. I have to learn it through like lots of repetition by actually referencing the material in real life. Like it has to apply to something for me to remember it.
I see.
Like,
It has to be almost grounded in reality in some way.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. How do you like to explain things to other people?
I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how many ways there are to explain something.
Okay. Okay, how about this one? What sorts of questions are you most comfortable answering?
What kind of questions are there?
I'm just wondering because no, what I'm interested in that can tell me like which sort of information you can process better. So like
Okay.
so what questions so far have you found easier to answer, and which ones have you found more difficult?
Shit, I don't even remember what we've talked about, to be honest.
No, that's fine. I suppose I can just watch back to the interview later and see which ones you found easy and which ones you found too difficult.
Sorry about
Okay.
that. Probably the things about like relationships and how I relate to other people. Like, ask me about my hobbies. It's hard for me to, like, I don't. It's not. It's hard for me to answer questions like that. So.
Oh yeah, I remember you said that you didn't like the question, are there any pronounced qualities to you as a person that make you stand out? But you did like talking about your relationships, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
When the question is really general, it's hard, but if it's specific, it's easy.
Gotcha. Okay. What have you always been able to do without much effort?
Okay. I've always liked to learn anything. Uh, I've always. This is going to be like a typical SE response, but I've always been okay and good at learning how to apply like force or pressure.
Mhm.
Like even as a little kid, it just came naturally to me. Um, I'm not good at just remembering numbers. Not good at that. Uh, Drawing and expressing emotions has always been really easy for me to do in art, like whether it be lyrics or like a sketch or a painting. Um, it hasn't always been easy, but a lot of times it's easy for me to, if I have no other choice, it's easy for me to deal with conflict or situations that are, what are they called, like life-threatening situations. I've always been,
Fight
it's
or
always,
flight.
yeah, maybe. If somebody gets hurt really bad,
Hmm.
I've always been able to quickly mobilize and not be scared or think about it and just do what needs to be done. Like, I'd be really good working in an ambulance.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I think a lot of times when I learn well, it's because I'm not bored. And if I'm bored, I don't learn. And if things are like normal or like kind of not original, I'm not interested in learning it.
It's like almost you need that sort of stimulation. Almost like your natural
Yeah.
environment is in sort of like an emergency environment where you just have to act right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oof. What do you find a persistent struggle?
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out a way how to say this to where it's understandable, but my moods get in the way of being productive. So, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is being productive, being consistently productive is a struggle. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes I have a hard time with conflict. Well, maybe I don't have a hard time with it, it just bothers me a lot. I guess I've always kind of dealt with conflict okay, if I have to. Oh, but, I don't know what else to say to that.
Okay. So in other words, okay, difficulty being productive when it clashes with your moods, and
Yeah.
you say you've had when you say you had difficulty with conflict. So what situation have you had a difficulty with conflict?
I think it goes back to my moods, but sometimes people, I'm not trying to blame the other party, but sometimes people don't understand me, and I guess sometimes I don't understand other people, and then we'll have like a clash, and then I just won't give up, and I'll just kind of make it worse. Instead of de-escalating, I kind of escalate.
Okay. So as I say, when you say a difficult conflict, it's not the issue for you is not conflicting, but rather actually getting out of the conflict, cooling things back down again.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, actually, that kind of answers my next question about how do you approach conflict? So you say you just tend to escalate it more and more.
Or I completely avoid it.
Okay. In what situation would you completely avoid conflict?
I'm dealing with a situation right now where I completely avoid it. I work with a lot of women, and some of them are like catty and bitchy, and they will start rumors about people and like try to form little groups of friends that like hate each other. And in that situation, I mostly avoid it. Like I don't just go up to the person and say, "Hey, you were talking shit about me. Hey, you want to go at it?" But like I try to figure out the root of the problem and fix it before it becomes a huge problem. Like I go to the people who may know what's going on and try to get some insights, and then I do a little bit of manipulating. So people will try to understand my side, and then like I'll try to get that person to like me a little bit more. Like in general, I don't want to have to deal with it at all. I just rather would not deal with it because it just takes away from the productivity that I'm trying to accomplish.
I see. So you're trying to be more productive, but almost when you're in that situation when you know that you kind of need to win people over, you'll go and then you'll win people over.
Yeah, but I'm not. I guess I'm not that skilled at it. But I will do it, and I will attempt to do it, and I will think about it. And like, I'm not actually sure if I'm not sure if I'm actually accomplishing what I'm trying to accomplish. But as for avoiding the conflict, so far that's worked.
I see.
In a time where there's actually been conflict that I haven't avoided, like if there's a conflict of interests, like that boils down to like responsibilities and what was the word you were using earlier? Like lifestyle or values or whatever. Yeah, okay. Well, when it comes to values, sometimes I don't back down. Say if I feel like a person is doing something that affects the whole group or affects me and affects people that I care about, I usually won't back down, and I'll just try to set limits for people. And if they cross those limits, I will become really, really aggressive. And then I don't feel like I'm very tactful when I do this, but I'm not scared. Like, I just...
Quite blunt with, when it comes to protecting people that are close to you, you get very, very protective.
Yeah, I get very protective, and I do it in a manner that's really disrespectful to that person. Like, I'll actually get up in their physical space, and it's usually never women, but usually degrading language, like I've done that.
I see. So when that person's threatening your friends, then it's all the gloves come off.
Yeah. Or my family. It's usually my family. Like if me and my twin sister, we fight a lot. We don't really get along, and I know she's like... Sometimes she deserves what other people say to her, but it doesn't mean I'm going to let it happen. But, I mean, like... when we were in school together, I was friends with like some of these girls over here, and like if one of them didn't like my sister, I would always be watching this person and make sure they stayed like a safe distance away from her. And then if they got any closer, I would like I would try to diffuse the situation beforehand. I've never actually had to fight anybody for her, but people knew that I was watching out for her.
So. Do you say that your sister deserved what happened? What would happen to her?
Yeah, kind of. She's really, really rude and disrespectful and aggressive for no reason.
Okay. So why do you not want your sister to get her comeuppance?
It's a funny way to put it. Because she's part of my team, and you have to protect people that you love. If somebody is offending my sister, that's like them offending me, and I have to take up for myself too.
I see. So it's almost like, okay. So in other words, the people who are really, really close to you, they become like an extension of your own of yourself, as it were. That you're because you've taken them under their wing by them by people attacking them. It's almost as if they're attacking you.
Yeah. Never thought about it like that before, but yeah.
Okay. What have people done to confuse, hurt, annoy, or anger you?
Okay, there's a few things that are really petty that bother me. I really don't like it when people organize my stuff, and then I can't find it. If somebody organizes my things, like I don't want them to know, but like I blow up inside sometimes. I'm trying to be nice, but like internally I'm going, fuck you, God, why?
Okay, so when they could try and impose some sort of order on your belongings that you're not comfortable.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't like to go along with that.
Yeah. Part of it is just I left this here, and I need to know where this is at. And I come to find it, and it's not there, and it's somebody like cleaned my things.
Yes.
And especially if it's like not even in the way, like that drives me insane. I don't know.
Okay, is it more to do with the fact that they've reordered so the places that you put things, or is it that they're actually moving things around in your space?
Yeah, I think part of it is because it's my stuff, and then part of it is I just don't understand why that's necessary. Let me think about that for a second. I don't really know why. Honestly, I don't know why. I think when the situation happens, I just feel like somebody has infringed upon like what I think is efficient. I don't know.
Okay. I see. So in other words, for you, you want to be the efficient one. You want to be the productive one. You don't want someone else going in there and being productive instead.
I don't care. I want people to be productive because other people's actions affect me, but I want you to be productive with what your responsibilities are. Like, I don't want you to infringe upon. Well, I don't know. I don't think this really applies to what we were just talking about anymore.
Oh no, we were reading something that I think is actually something I was trying to look for actually.
Oh. I really think I'm just kind of territorial over my stuff.
Okay. What behaviors in people do you simply not understand?
Well, I know this person who sings every time the radio comes on, really loudly over top of it, and it sounds horrible.
Yes.
Actually, I can summarize that and say that this is another territorial thing, and I think it's people with really strong introverted sensing. But if I don't know how to say this. Okay, this is going to sound really bad, but like in my space, I don't like people dictating what I see and hear, and like how the things in my space that affect me. I don't like other people dictating my experience. I know that sounds really bad and kind of petty, but I usually don't act on it, actually. I never act on it because I feel that would be rude, but those things bother me like a whole lot.
What do you mean by your experience?
My sensory experience, like what I experience the world to be. What I see, or, like sensory, like what I see, what I hear.
What would be an example of someone trying to influence what you see and hear?
I think kind of like the explanation I just gave you of this person singing a whole lot and they know they sound really bad, but they don't care. Another thing was when I was around an SLI a lot. I didn't realize this until after Socionics, but pre-Socionics, I noticed this person just made me like feel internally discordant. And eventually I realized it was because the mood that they were trying to set with like the music and like just the relaxation, it just kind of, I don't know how to explain this. It just feels like I'm being infringed upon. I don't know how to explain that.
I see. So someone trying to relax you.
Yeah, that makes me feel like, ugh, stop. That's icky.
And you might say, no, I'm not having any of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Last question cluster. Describe a utopia with ideals and law. Okay, you're not gonna like this question. I'll try and answer this one in the most realistic way possible, like in a normal situation. But describe a situation or a setup where the ideals or just the values and rules are as you see as most preferable.
In a utopia?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with the Venus Project. Have you ever seen anything about the Venus Project?
No, tell me about it.
Okay. Well, this guy, he kind of went crazy not too long ago because he's really old. But before he was crazy, his ideas sounded really good. He proposed that instead of making laws, we make solutions. One example was somebody's drinking and driving. We don't make it against the law to drink and drive. We just put some kind of sensor on the car that can tell when somebody's not driving good, and it fixes the issue. Either they get pulled over and they're on the side of the road and, whatever, I don't know what happens after that, or the car kind of steadies out on its own. Anyway, there'd be a lot less laws in a utopia. There would be, food would be free. There would be like 3 fruit trees on every block, so people could just eat whenever they needed to. Honestly, I don't like monetary exchange. I wouldn't. There would be no money.
Okay. So definitely there's this focus on solutions over rules.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of practicality almost rather than legislation. And what don't you like about money?
I think it creates false value. I think it makes it impossible for some people to live good lives. I know this sounds really hippie-ish, but like other countries where there's not a lot of money, not a lot of food, okay, maybe there would still be money, but there wouldn't be, the cultural understanding wouldn't be that money is the only thing that determines value.
I see. Now, what do you mean by false value?
False value, it's the opposite of intrinsic value. Something's only worth what it can do. Like its potentiality uh, I don't know. I think a lot of things are. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. Um,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Right. What about the world we live in particularly irritates you?
What we were just talking about.
Mm.
I think the opposite of intrinsic value is false value. That is that. Well, it's not the false value. It's the lack of acknowledging intrinsic value.
Mm.
The potentiality of something, or prioritizing things that are less important as more important. Our society does that a lot.
Okay. What do you fear happening in the world?
Let me think about this one. What do I fear happening? Like, what do I think is going to happen, or like, what would be the worst possible thing to happen?
Oh, okay. What's the worst possible thing to happen, and then what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, the worst possible thing that could happen is I would get taken from my home and stuck in a concentration camp.
Okay.
What's gonna happen?
Mm.
Okay, you're gonna make me sound crazy by asking this question. I think. Oh my god, I don't want to answer this. Alright. I think that a lot. Shit. Maybe like 50 to 100 years down the road, a lot of people. There's probably gonna be like a shortened population, and not more. And. Well, I mean, it's hard to say, but I think that things are going to be a lot better than they are now because there are less people. And did that answer your question? I feel weird talking about this.
Okay, you think that something's going to happen, but things are going to be better because there's going to be fewer people.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not something. Is it something you fear? Or is it something that you look forward to happening? There being less people.
I kind of look forward to that.
Okay. Right. Those are all the questions. So, if people are people are watching. Got 4 viewers, and we haven't had we haven't had any questions and answers that aren't somehow abusive from one person. So I'm just going to ignore those ones. And
Ooh, who is being abusive?
I don't know. Some guys are saying he bets we support ISIS. Okay, great.
ISIS? Who the fuck is ISIS, you asshole?
Okay. Right. Okay. So no questions and answers. So if people are watching and don't want to hear my analysis, they can turn off now. Excellent. Okay, Carrina, I think that it's quite clear throughout this. I'm sure you can agree with me that you're pretty clear as a gamma socialite.
Okay.
I think that the main theme that seems to have come up is this idea of essentially looking out for your friends, doing things for your friends, and making stronger bonds which you then protect. And you have that sort of fighter's instinct to protect.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's something that's uncontroversial for both of us. We both in pretty much in agreement on gamma socialite. I think that you're more likely, from what you've given in this interview, to be SCE rather than ESI. One thing that seems quite apparent throughout the interview is it's almost a sense of there's a sense of like the finger on the pulse. This need for things to become more intense, to become more active, and that almost you only feel as if you're truly yourself in this sort of emergency situations where you have to think fast, and you have to act in the here and now, and you have to do something. And like and for you, this idea that there's this boring situation that you're stuck in, which you kind of have to get out of. You kind of have to get to something a bit more a bit more active, a bit more intense, something which you can learn on the job. Also, this idea of actually just learning on the job, of actually picking up information as you do it, of learning it and then doing it through actual practice, seems to me to fit more in line with the extrovert sensation as a leading function. That your actual sense of being, your actual sense of your living and breathing of an information element seems to come from this like real in touch with the world experience. I also find, and at the same time, your introverted ethics, while clear, rather strong, clear part of your ego block, it seems to be more flexible than what one can find with one would expect from the aside. And that although you do have this closer circle of friends, these 5 people you can trust, you also have these other friends around you, and you don't call them acquaintances. You have acquaintances as well, but you also have friends, and you call them friends for just a reason. No real reason why they're friends. You just have them as your friends. You're happy to have them around you, and you're almost open to their input. There's also this sense of flexibility in how you also approach relationships. That at one point you were someone who was almost, you said they were rules, but it sounded more like demands rather than rules. In fact, when someone laid down a rule or a law or legislation, there's some sort of structure, there's some sort of consistency or some sort of agreement between one party and the other. It seemed more like in your past relationships, well, I don't want this, don't do this. And now you seem to have changed and realized that that approach hasn't led to happiness in your relationships. And so if you were to have another relationship, you almost only have someone actually is in agreement with what you want. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be this sort of flexibility there, and more of a cautiousness in how you approach the particular relationship. Whereas the extrovert sensation seems to be more all-encompassing and seems to be represent itself in this sort of hyperactivity, this sort of need for energetic stimulation. There's also what you mentioned about not wanting people either touching things in your space, but also trying to change how you experience, change your real life experience. Suggests to me that what is inert rather than contact, or is what you like to keep solid and what you like to set for yourself, seems to be the sensation rather than the ethics. Also, that you, I also wanted to explore the possibility that you didn't like someone organizing things in your space. The idea of imposing some sort of order or some sort of taking on the proactive role in making you more organized or productive, rather than you being productive yourself, which would suggest inertness of logic as well. That when you want to be logical in the sense of being more productive, and you have said read the times, but you do like the idea of being productive, of making yourself more productive, that you want to be the one who is productive for your things, and that while I want other people to be productive of their things, didn't seem to want them to go and organize your things for you, that you want to be the organizer of your life, as it were.
I think I would like somebody organizing my things if I could find them, and I didn't have to go asking where they were.
Okay. So
it just depends.
If you approach them, and then also if you ask them for help in the area, then they might be able to help you in making things more productive. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, if they were making it more productive and not less productive, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
But
so
I'm sorry. I still think it goes back to SI, where I don't like. Yeah, they're just trying to make things more like appealing, and it just bothers me. I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can continue.
No, there's also the idea about if you're inert in sensation. So not only if your leading function is extrovert sensation, but an introvert sensation would be more of this ignoring function, where if someone tries to make changes in terms of the experience of both aesthetic and just how things are in reality, you essentially would not budge on them. The idea of the ignoring function rather than demonstrative function is that the ignoring function just doesn't budge. It just doesn't want to respond to other people trying to make things more comfortable. So if people's input and error is just ignored, it kind of bounces off. It just reject it straight out of hand.
Yeah. It is annoying. I don't like it. I don't I mean, I don't mean to sound mean. I still like the
Yeah.
people using it, but I don't like when SI is directed toward me.
Okay. And I was trying to think what else we were covering. Yes, so I was saying that the difference between this, the sort of ESI and the SE is that the SE has this more, slightly more chaotic approach, more the idea that they're going to jump at something new or different at a new point in their life. The fact that you said rather than be like actually almost enjoyed unpredictability.
I
Already
actually
made
do,
me.
yeah.
Sorry, what was it?
Yeah, I do. When things get too predictable, I don't function properly.
And already that makes me more doubtful of a more introverted, rational temperament. But at least with ESIs, especially with their vulnerable to extrovert intuition, there's usually the fear for them is where anything could happen, and they almost need to be able to know how things are going to go ahead, rather than to feel the sense that anything could happen, that there's this large amount of potential for things to happen outside their control. Whereas with the extrovert sensation type, they are usually far more adaptive to that happening, and they can usually they almost like the thrill of just being at it right in the moment to do something. At the same time, I noticed that you do see more, although when you're protecting your friends, you do get into this more aggressive state. At least
But it
for you,
takes
it
a
seems.
long time. It takes a long
Yeah,
time for me to get that way.
yeah.
It takes a lot of setting boundaries and stuff.
Yes, and exactly so. While you don't seem to be naturally aggressive all the time, and you seem to be more about actually doing nice things for your friends and was putting yourself out for your friends around you,
Hmm.
which also fits into that theory we were covering, I remember, in DCNH, that you may be a harmonizing subtype, and I think that could certainly fit.
Hmm. What about ESID subtype?
Oh, ESID subtype. I Well, the way that you explained how you were other people, that you tended to put yourself out there and focus on their responsibilities, rather than
Yeah.
yes, and almost quietly complaining to yourself, rather than actually just confronting the issue straight away.
Yeah, that's
Already
true.
from the description seems to connect more with a harmonizing rather than a dominant.
Hmm.
So also it's one thing about the difficulty with it, if you are applying subtypes, is try not to use it it's like
Yeah.
all dominants act a certain way and all harmonizers need to act a certain way. That it's not that it shouldn't be that an ESI dominant should look like an SCE harmonizing, but that would just make it just blends the types together.
Yeah, and that's true. It does kind of blend in if you try to think about it like that.
Also, I find that there are a few occasions where like when you're trying to explain a concept that was in your head, you had difficulty like putting it into words and
Yeah.
but figuring out like a precise, consistent meaning. I thought
Yeah.
that could also flow into maybe a weakness in the introverted logic. Well, I mean, not just referring to interview, but at least in forums, we had noticed that there's a difficulty applying structure. Like you almost like your writing seems to go into almost like flow of consciousness. Like you have these ideas that go straight on the page, and sort of a spontaneity to it, which
Yeah, I see what you're saying. A lot of SEEs do have that. It's like it looks really TI polar when they talk. They shoot from one thing to another, and it looks like there's no connection between those two things. And then they turn back around, and it connects, sort of, then sort of doesn't.
yes, exactly. And so basically for these reasons, I think that SE makes more sense than the SI.
It's weird.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. See how people think, because my opinion is just my opinion. It's not the opinion. So we'll see. We'll see how people think and see how it goes from there.
Sounds good. Thank you for meeting me at 2 a.m.
You're very welcome. Do you have any questions?
I really don't. If I come up with anything, I will let you guys know.
Good. Excellent. Look forward to hearing from you.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.